Good morning, and this is your crypto day morning for today's date, which is in that of Tuesday, the 19th of March, 2019. My name is Derek, all bets trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. Bitcoin, it had its last 2 day rise, even from this 3 day move from the 18 average of lows of 37.90, coming up to the 4,033 mark. This is day number three of consolidating within such. Yesterday's session just a little bit below this high, and all of these lows, all of the highs just above this point, above the 18 highs, below where it came from, just wedging in there, I guess you might say, from the move. Here's the move higher. It's had a 2 times established level of support at 39.40. Its last point is at 39.52. We had resistance here, a lower high resistance point in here, and it has not had an attempt getting above the 18 highs since that point. And it really hasn't even really done much below it. So just going sideways from this move, how much longer it can take, who knows? But that's the key thing within this. When it breaks above or below the key level of support or resistance, I would expect it to follow through. So if it breaks resistance, a good size green move higher, and then the opposite going lower. Ravencoin on the 4-hour term time frame up to 900 Satoshi from this low in at 600. And this is very, very interesting. This thing went straight up from the February 26 lows at about 275. Almost a 4x move to the 1000 handle. Pulled back to 600. Your typical 40% price correction, which stayed above the 18 lows on the daily. This is massive volatility. This was 7 consecutive green candle up days, then a red day, and then 2 consecutive green candle up days where it topped the next period. 4 down, and then here it is leaving this 18 average, getting close to that previous resistance point at the 1000 mark. Short term, I'd be looking for, well, a general area like this to be your hold, stay above. Does that get verified on the 4? Pretty much. I guess you could lower it just a bit to the 750. And anyway, piercing below these and holding above is fine, meaning, oh, it could pierce below to 705, and then one period later it's up 740, then after that it's 785 or something very normal for stuff like that. But that's, the major key area. And that's, of course, if there's going to be any significant price correction, because getting past this level of resistance, well, we've seen how wild it was before when it broke through. From this low, we could end up seeing like 1,500, 2, 3, 4,000 Satoshi as one of the possibilities. But for now, an attempt to break out of the highs and establish what has been a great trend. Next up is Theta in at 32.21, which after its last move in here has let's hop to that area around 3,600 for a little bit, and then a failed breakout. Hasn't been a fast move yet, but it hasn't really shown any good bullish progressive signs. Now, the last time that I thought this thing was really looking to break down was literally right in here. That's when I thought it was ready to do such. When looking at the shorter term, and I realized something weird was happening that day, and well, it went up. Seen several days where it has supported that point on the or near the 3,200 handle. And this was a pretty decent run in here from March 17th to that of March 18th, 24-hour period. But obviously has started to revert the trend, coming down here, resisting in the band, now breaking down below. I gotta think that it's more favored to break down lower, but until it does, it's just gonna keep on doing like the mat kind of stuff, doing what it's doing overall, holding and staying above this point in here. And really, when you have a move from this high to this low and you have a break, you want to spend more time at the upper area, which it has done. It didn't do it here. But holding and staying above a key level, whether it is where it's at now at 32, whether it's at this 25, 26 area, or even if it's around 2000 to like 1700, really. Holding and staying above that is important. For I have seen situations where it has these types of price corrections where it comes back down and then it ends up later breaking higher. But it may not need to do it. It could just end up doing it now when it's ready to do it, or when it's ready to do it, it probably will. I've heard a lot of good fundamentals amongst the coin, so therefore we're just gonna trade it and keep on seeing how it does. I've also heard great fundamentals about DGB, and it seems that when I got so many comments about this coin more than really any other one, about how great the project is, how they love that coin. It's one of the top ones, and it's one of the favorites for that type of stuff. I think it's really interesting. The type of feedback I've got within it. Within its chart, it had a price move up to 400 on the date of March the 12th, it looks like. Now down to 334, so it's lost 65 basis points. It's a little over 15% down. Has managed to make a play to the 18 lows. This line I got drawn in at 303. This to me is a major, major must hold area. But just like theta, it doesn't have to go there. There's no guarantee that it will. And even if it does, there's no guarantee that's going to be great support. It's just that's the area I'd be looking at if a play like that happens. But like we've seen on the Raven coin, whenever the situation has that nice price point after a great move higher, whenever you see it start to leave above the 18 highs, that's where you better watch out for the thing ready to get going for what probably would be that of significant gains. Finishing this off within the 4 hour. And then we can see just after the nice little gain, having just a tremendous long period of going sideways from the afternoon of March, the morning of March 13th rather, until, well, just last night. Just staying in this area, and then, or rather 2 nights ago, and then now just falling down, just grinding in a little bit. When it's ready to go, it's going to have decent moves. It's going to have a lot of slowdown periods. When we look at this on a more longer term level, you can see how bigger the volatility was before, and it could easily come back in a heartbeat and just go wild again. Dash is one interesting example of low volatility. Let's take a look at it first, and we'll do so on the daily. So that will be the last chart to conclude the video. And everything looks normal on the daily chart. You have this nice little pattern from this high where it had a pattern of lower highs, higher lows, or these downward symmetrical or the downward trend lines. And then the last little bottom in here, which was a higher low from this point, had not only a gain on March the 9th, but the big one on March 12th through the 13th. And as this just had very low volatile sideways movement. But all of this is very low volatile movements when we take a look at the sizes of this dash on the weekly chart, pretty much since the start of the year, let alone even October, November. Size of these candles compare the ones that precede it. And I think that a break of this resistance getting above 258, 274, that it could maybe not match the large volatility that it had, but definitely increase it from where it stands now, and I like its pattern setup. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.